Hey, it's Camo with the Nashville Access Facebook show presented by Solis North Gulch Apartments. Thanks for joining the show today. One of the big contingents of countries represented in Nashville is Australians. You can't throw an empty bottle of Vegemite without hitting one. And we happen to have an Australian today. She's from Melbourne in Victoria. Jasmin Bade, come on in here. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Been hearing good things about you.
Yes, thank you.
So, by the sounds of your accent, you've been here a little while.
So I've been here 3 days ago, 4 days ago, marked 1 year.
Oh, okay.
So not that long, but I work at an ice cream place, and people do not understand my accent properly.
So you have to try and straighten it out.
Exactly. I've only got 2 more shifts there, so maybe my Aussie accent's going to come back properly. I don't know. Comes and goes.
Dude, when you talk to people at home, they say, "Oh, you're losing your accent."
They say that when they watch videos of me here, but as soon as I get talking to them, it fully comes back.
Well,
Yeah.
Do you split your time? Do you go back relatively frequently?
Well, I actually haven't been back yet.
Okay.
So we've been sorting out, we're currently waiting on my artist visa application,
Okay.
which fingers crossed, goes well and everything. So once that all goes through and hopefully it's all fine, then I'll probably go back at the end of the year. But my parents have visited twice.
Well, yeah, because when you're waiting for those visas, you can't leave the country.
Right, with certain ones, you can't, and also to go back is so expensive, and to miss shows and things like that, miss opportunities and things like that, yeah.
One thing about the Australian country music market is it's very similar to the U.S. in a lot of respects.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems odd that it is, but it's much, I think it's because people are much more ingrained with the land there. So it comes from kind of the same place country music has come from.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
I think that we actually have a lot of country musicians who their parents were farmers.
Right.
Kind of thing. So kind of like how it really started here, and that's still how it's going down there in Tamworth. They have a lot, we have like the cattle and the sheep and everything. And a lot of our country music back home is about that.
Yeah.
So
some great artists that have come out of there. James Blundell, Troy Castrodale.
Love him.
Yeah.
Loved him since I was about 4 years old, and I saw him at Tamworth.
And it's funny because the only Australian artists people hear about nowadays, I mean, everybody knew Olivia Newton-John and Helen Reddy, I think, was Australian. But Keith Urban is, and he was born in New Zealand.
Yeah, we've taken
up in
ownership.
Australia, yeah. But there are so many great artists that have come out of that country that people here don't hear of.
Yeah, one of my, probably the reason I started singing, the reason I started playing guitar and songwriting is because of Casey Chambers.
Right.
She was a household name back home. I actually got, and I've loved her since I was 6 years old, heard her at Christmas and just started imitating her. And then I actually got to meet her brother Nash, who produces all of her records, the other day, and we sat down, and it was like the child in me was like so excited. She's incredible, and their whole family works together.
There's a really strong Australian community here.
Yes.
Which is because you don't normally, I mean, I don't in my travels bump into anybody from Australia all that often.
Mm-hmm.
But O'Shea is here.
Yes.
They spend a lot of time here in town.
Yes, I know a lot of people that have worked with O'Shea. I haven't come across them yet, but I do have a lot of Australian musician friends around, and we did an all-Australian Writers Round at Belmont Taps last year, and it was so fun just to kind of have a bit of home come over.
Do y'all get together for like Anzac Day?
Well, some of them do. We have a Facebook page, Aussies in Nashville, and people comment like, "Where's the cheapest place to get Vegemite?" So we can get together for that. And there's an Aussie Rules football league here as well. So there are ways.
It's called Aussie Rules. There really aren't any.
There aren't any. Just go for the ball, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And as somebody who's lived in the UK for quite a while, Marmite still beats Vegemite.
No, it's just wrong. It's just wrong.
All right, let's get to your music. You know, we've covered all of the other Australians, but you're the only one that matters right now. Why did you make the decision to come to Nashville and start your music career here?
Well, since I was really young, like 7, 8 years old, I heard that everyone just goes to Nashville. So I was always like, let's go to Nashville, I want to go to Nashville. And mum and dad, of course, were like, we'll take you to the Australian version, which is Tamworth. But, you know, it's a big thing to get the family and come to Nashville, to even just to visit. So when I was 17, I finished high school and came over for a month, and I had an internship at the Bluebird Cafe. And I got to hang out there, and I just fell in love with it. And the fact that you could be a songwriter without being an artist, I thought was incredible. I still wanted to be an artist, but I thought there are people in this town who work 9 to 5 writing songs, and I want to work with them. So went home to college, and came back. And I think that it's been one of the hardest years of my life, but I've worked harder than I ever have, because you get pushed by other artists who are better than you.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons I love it so much.
One of the key phrases that's used around town is writing up. You know, I want
Yes.
to be writing with
Exactly.
people that are a step or more above you.
Uh-huh.
Because writing with somebody at your level you're not learning anything, you're
Right.
not challenged.
Right.
For the most part. There
Sometimes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, I probably do like a few co-writes a week, and before I moved here, I never did any co-writes.
Yeah. That's a big national thing.
So,
co-writing.
exactly. So, I just love that, and getting to meet new people. I mean, that's how I met my boyfriend, like, that's how I met most of my friends. It's how I made connections to play shows, and people I think that you write well with are people that you usually are going to get on well with. So, like, that's been amazing, whether they were Australian or American or from the UK, like, it didn't matter. We've all got this, like, goal in mind to write, like, some super epic song.
Has there ever been a time since you've been here that you thought, I can't do this?
Almost, several times. Like, you know, you have 28 bad days, and then you have 2 good days in that whole month, kind of thing.
And that changes things.
Right, exactly. And I think it's just, for me, I always look back and go, like, 8-year-old me would be so happy and proud that basically her life is writing songs, playing shows, and hanging out in the city she always wanted to be in. So if I have to do things that maybe, you know, I don't particularly want to do all the time, that's life. And my family is so supportive. You know, I'm texting my mum every day, and they really, really helped me get through it. So it's definitely worth it for me.
Cool. You want to do a song and then we'll chat some more?
Yes, sure. Sure.
You're watching the Nashville Access Facebook show with Camo. My guest is Jasmin Bade, and she's an Aussie, and she can play a song right now.
Yeah, so this song is called Since I Was 16, and I actually wrote it when I was 17, thinking I'd learned so much in like 3 months. And I'm 23 now, but I still love to play it at like shows and everything. Yeah.
Tree, the kind of deep love ought to be, and that wholesome feeling they say you can't describe. And since I was 16, I wanted you to love me, but they'd say to me, girl, you're out of your mind. And I tried to find you, but the world didn't want me to, and my mama said, maybe take it as a up until they let us shine, 'cause baby, love takes time. real, something they couldn't steal, someone that you could be there for. 'Cause you want two names carved in a tree, the kind of deep love ought to be, and the crazy feeling they say you can't describe. Since I was 16, I wanted you to love me. They'd say to me, girl, you're out of your mind. And I tried to find you, but the world didn't want me to. And my mama said, maybe take it as a sign. But I'm not giving up on what I know we'll find. 'Cause baby, love takes time. Oh, yeah, baby, won't you come and get me? Lately, I want you to need me, baby. Won't you come and get me? Take me home to show me I'm not wasting all my time. 'Cause I want two names carved in a tree, and the kind of deep love ought to be, and the fearless feeling they say you can't describe. Oh, since I was 16, I wanted you to love me, but they'd say to me, girl, you're out of your mind. And I tried to find you, but the world didn't want me to. And my mama said, maybe take it as a sign. But I'm not giving up on what I know we'll find. No, I'm not backing up until they let us shine. 'Cause baby, love takes time.
Cool song.
Thank you.
That's really neat.
Thank you so much.
I like the authenticity of it.
Yeah, I mean, I try to, like, it's been really easy to kind of fall into the, like, typical, like, love song kind of, and I love Taylor Swift, and she's been a big influence for me. I think, though, that at the moment, people are kind of branching out, like Maren Morris and everything. So that's kind of like my love song that I play, that is still a little bit different. You know,
Yeah.
it's not just like, I love a boy and I want him to love me too kind of thing.
You talk about Maren Morris and how she's kind of breaking down a lot of walls.
Mm-hmm.
And we're always talking about this. We had Zoe, who was from Australia. We had her on last week.
Yes.
And it's the same thing where you just want to write great music, and if it sounds pop, it sounds pop. If it sounds really country, it sounds country. And if it sounds something else, it sounds something else. Where the artist is more the genre than the music.
Right, I really appreciate that, and I do a lot of cover gigs, and you got to do it, and I play downtown a little bit, and they, I think, get surprised a little bit when I do a bit of pop stuff, because I play some Adele, and, you know, I might play some Beatles and things like that, and before I go into that kind of part of my set, I say that exact thing. I say, I love a song if it's a good song. To me, it doesn't matter what the genre is. And I kind of put my own spin on it, and with my voice, it makes it a little more country.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with that.
I've always said that there are two kinds of music, interesting and boring.
Right.
Those are the only two kinds. And if you're doing something that interests me, then I'm going to like it.
Mm-hmm.
I may not be a big fan of that genre of music, but because it's interesting, I'm going to get into it. If it's boring, you know, if it's drum loops and bare feet on the dash and tailgate down, rhyming Bud Light and Moonlight, I'm not interested.
Yes.
You're boring me.
Yeah, I think that at the moment, I mean, with Maren Morris, I saw her play like a week ago, and I love her music. So to me, it's interesting, as well as I am really in tune with what she's writing with at the moment, and I relate to it a lot. But even if I didn't, I think that the fact that it isn't just about driving a truck, and it isn't just about a girl in a country song.
Yeah.
You know, it's keeping like everyone on their toes, and that's why she's doing so well.
And other female artists too, like Ashley McBryde, is writing
Love
some
her.
great stuff.
Yes, I'm a huge fan.
She doesn't get the headlines that Marin gets, but she's changing country music just as much.
Definitely. I think maybe because her sound is still more in that country genre, whereas Marin is kind of taking that pop and R&B a little bit. But Ashley McBryde, I think, is not given the credit that she deserves. I will listen to her albums like on repeat, and her songwriting is just so like pure and honest, and there's not a word in there that doesn't need to be. And I really, really appreciate that. Yeah.
How do you feel you are on course to be not like those artists, but have the success of those artists? And I'm not talking just about, you know, financial and fame success, but getting your music out to a wide body of people.
Of course. Well, that's something I've had to think about a lot. And is this something that I think I'm going to be able to do in the long haul, or is it just a short-term thing? I would love it to be a long-term, forever thing. At the moment, I say that at least. So I released my first single about a month ago, nearly 2 months ago now, and that was about mental health. And for me, that's a really important topic of discussion that, especially kind of in country music, is under-discussed. That was my first thing to put out.
You know, the Willie Nelson song, Crazy.
Crazy, of course. Well, maybe now it's under discussed.
Not the same thing.
Yes, exactly. I mean, we're all crazy, and that's that song, right? So that was my first thing to kind of put out there, and then I'm hoping to do something maybe later in the year. And with that song, it did way better than I thought it was going to do. I would get messages, and I still do. The other day, I got a few messages from people saying this was the first song that made me cry in like 10 years, in a good way.
Now this we're going to go kind of down a different
sure.
road here. Why is it that international artists feel that talking about things like mental health in a song is important, where U.S. artists, it's like we can't
it's
talk
taboo.
About it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do a weekly thing with John and Jody on Tamworth Radio, and they'll call, you know, and it's, I forget what the day is called, but it's, you know, how are you feeling? That's the whole thing.
Are you okay?
Yeah, are you okay? That kind of thing. And so, you know, in my typical fan, I'm laughing.
Right.
Not at the premise of it, but just I'm having fun with it.
Right, exactly.
But here, it's like nobody touches it. UK artists touch it, Australian artists touch it, but North American audiences, for some reason, or artists don't go there.
I think that, well, now it's slowly coming out. I know Ariana Grande released that song Breathing, which is about that kind of thing, and it's slowly, in pop, it's coming out. I think that when I moved here, it was kind of like talking about like depression and anxiety was not something that people had discussed at the dinner table at night. Whereas at home, like, that was just like a normal thing. And even in my share houses with my bandmates, like, we would talk about that kind of stuff, and we talk about the science behind it. And it was, the stigma was erased because we realized that it was, you know, it's a biological thing. It's not just like someone like, I'm sad today. And which I think we basically all know now. But I think that here maybe it's still being held on to a little bit in that old light. And that's why, like, when I came here, I had no intention of releasing a song about mental health. I was like, I'll probably release that song, I don't know.
When you say I'm going to release a song about mental health, North Americans, or primarily Americans, would tend to pull it. What are you, insane?
Exactly.
You
like,
know?
your first single, like, what's going on? But I just connected so deeply with this song, and the feedback that I got before I recorded it was so, like, mind-blowing that people could say that they now had a song that they felt finally understood how they were feeling. The whole premise is that you're a normal person that just experiences these things, and to bring it here, I have had a little bit of like, it's like an interesting thing, but then when people hear it, it's kind of opened up.
Yeah, it's strange because after living in the UK for a while,
of course,
everybody talks about it.
Right.
I've seen things up in Canada where they have a day, I think it's I'm Listening.
We have Are You OK Day in Australia. Yeah.
And it's like that just would seem so weird here. Much like releasing a song about
right, exactly.
Yeah. But as an artist and a songwriter, that's something you feel the need to really talk about.
Yeah, I have experience with anxiety myself, and I have lots of friends and family that have gone through some really difficult things. And the fact that I think that some people still believe that it's like a choice to feel anxious or a choice to be depressed, which is something that really just got on my nerves.
Live in a city full of songwriters and musicians.
Right.
You pretty quickly come to realize that everybody is screwed up.
Right, exactly. and the fact is that so many people have these issues, and so many people don't talk about it. So we all feel secluded in our own minds. And I think when we start talking about it, we realize this guy has a bit of depression here as well. Maybe we can talk about that, and we can, hang out and just not feel so alone in our mental health issues.
Going back to the Australian thing, what makes you think, when you're from Melbourne, that you look at somebody like Keith Urban, Kylie Minogue,
yes,
the big names that have been Aussie exports, what makes you think as a teenager, I'm going to do that?
I'm going to do that.
That takes, along with the mental health shit, that takes a lot of confidence for somebody to say that.
Yeah.
It's one thing when you're coming from another state.
Right, to drive over.
But when you're coming from halfway around, all the way around, to here and seeing those people with big names and saying, I'm going to do that. Right,
exactly. Well, for me, the thing was that I was always in love with country music, and country at home is very big in Tamworth, as we know, in Melbourne, and where I went to university in Tasmania, not such a big thing. And I figured, if I was going to move to Tamworth, I'm going to move away from home, a flying distance, might as well move to Nashville.
Yeah, because ain't nothing close.
Right, exactly. And my whole thing was, I never thought, I had dreams of selling arenas, but never thought that I actually really, I know that those people, I think, are kind of handpicked, and, there's only so much you can do to get there. But I remember saying to my dad, who, my family works in medicine, so I'm the black sheep here.
Yeah, well, the family.
Right, yeah. And I said, I would rather live in my car and get to sing songs for a living than be a doctor.
How did that go over?
It took years. It took years. And I don't know, they finally, in this last year, get it and see that I'm doing it on my own and that I'm not, starving to death and, but I think that, I nearly did go and study in medicine, and then I'm like, no, I have to give this the best shot or I'll regret it.
It's icky.
Right, because it's icky, and I faint a lot too. So I don't think.
And then there's the whole science thing.
Well, the have to be science smart thing, But I used to love science as well, but never as much as music. So
I like science to the extent that it was the song blinded me with science. that's how much.
It was never the chosen path for you. That's okay.
You want to do another song?
Yeah, I'll do my single.
This is the mental health thing.
Yeah, this is the mental health song.
I'm not making light of this for people just tuning in. It's just foreign to what we've been doing.
Of course. So it's called I'm Fine, and that is making light of it. It's satirical. It's kind of, yeah.
cause I don't have the energy. And you say I'm crazy cause I go to therapy. But I'm not insane, it's just that way. And all my friends say that I'm just a pretty mess, cause I get all my serotonin from CVS. But I'm not feeling glamorous, cause mostly I'm just normal. Most days I'm okay, but we dress up our demons for a caption. I call it typical, they call it fashion. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm more anxious the louder they're laughing, cause in my head everyone's staring at me. If you looked inside my mind, I don't think that you romanticize. But I'm fine, I'm fine. Some kids just overdose, that's the third one this week. But they're painted in makeup and call it a movie scene. But I don't want your pity party, I'd just rather leave, cause mostly I'm just normal. Most days I'm okay, but we dress up our demons for a caption. I call it typical, they call it fashion. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm more anxious the louder they're laughing, cause in my head everyone's staring at me. If you looked inside my mind, I don't think that you romanticize. But I'm fine, I'm fine. Fine, really I'm fine. Most of the time, most of the time. Cause mostly I'm just normal. Most days I'm okay, but we dress up our demons for a caption. I call it typical, they call it fashion. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that I'm more anxious the louder they're laughing, cause in my head everyone's staring at me. If you looked inside my mind, I don't think that you romanticize. But I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm fine, I'm fine.
Oh, I like that. That's cool.
Thank
I
you.
like the line about getting your
Serotonin from
CVS. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's great because it does it with a little bit of humor.
Yes, I think that we have to, or if we take everything so seriously, we just can't get up in the mornings.
So what are the plans for the summer? What do you got going
What are
on?
my plans for the summer? Well, touch wood, I get this visa. That's not wood, but you know. I get this
I think
visa.
that's not wood. but-
You know,
Yeah.
whatever, same thing. I'll be doing shows all around. I have one in Kentucky on Friday. I did a couple in Ohio on the weekend. Playing at the George Jones downtown off 2nd Ave. I'm getting a band together. So hopefully some more venues downtown. If that all goes really well. And just writing. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you reached out. And
Yes,
came on
thank
the show.
you.
It's a blast having you.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got to come back again.
Yes, definitely.
Sweet.
No problem.
More songs about mental health.
More songs about mental health that shouldn't be that hard for me to write.
Her name is Jasmin Bade, and how can people find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on all social media at Jasmin Bade Music. No E at the end of Jasmine because my parents tried to make it difficult for me.
You're just being vowel efficient.
Vowel efficient, exactly.
They had a vowel movement.
A vowel. My dad will love that. Or just jasminbade.com.
Thanks for being on the show
Thank
today.
you
It was
so
great having you.
much.
Make sure you check her out online. Check her out when she's playing around, and all the information of where she's playing will be on her pages and stuff. Thanks for watching the Nashville Access Facebook show with Camo. That's me. That's Jasmine. And don't forget to catch me every Saturday afternoon here in Nashville on Hippie Radio 94.5 from 3 to 7. Every Sunday from midday on Chris Country all across the UK. And every Thursday morning with Jody Crosby and John Wolfe on 88.9 Tamworth FM in Tamworth, Australia. Thanks for watching.